Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Shrimp City Report. We actually have a nice day out and about Daniel Island today. I'm Devin with the Shrimp City Report and joined by DJ. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Yeah, so it's a nice Saturday out at the brand new Publix in Daniel Island. And, we're lucky to get one of, the
showrunners,
Yeah, or just, the man that hooked us up with this gig, Jared Glover. How are you doing, Jared?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys for coming out today.
Absolutely,
awesome.
Oh, yeah, it's our pleasure. One of the first things that knocked me out when I was bringing the gear in was the smell of the bakery.
Oh, yeah, the bread.
Yeah, and it's, you could, out from the parking lot.
Yeah, there was a plan. Had to get you here early so you could smell that fresh baked bread and the cookies that they're bringing out. It's always great to be here first thing in the morning.
It really is. That's an encouraging thing when you come in. I guess there's got to be some kind of psychology, of course, with marketing and everything. But, if I was coming in here for maybe just, I don't know, some eggs and I smell that, I'll maybe get some bread after that. So, Jared, tell us about you a little bit. You're actually from South Carolina, aren't you?
I am. I grew up in Columbia, South Carolina. I went to USC, studied journalism. So spent, again, all my life, I was coming to Charleston, like most people from that area. Quick little 2-hour drive. My sister went to college with Charleston. So I really spent a lot of time down here visiting her, going to Folly Beach, hanging out downtown. So it's cool to be able to have a job now that gets me back down here to have fun and also experience public with other people.
Okay, so the job brought you to Charleston then?
Yeah. So, obviously we opened up this store back in December, but, I cover a number of different states, South Carolina being one, North Carolina, Virginia, and Tennessee and Kentucky as part of our Charlotte division.
Yeah.
But I grew up in Columbia. I worked at WLTX for a while. I knew I was in the right space of telling and sharing stories, sharing information, but I got a little burnt out and ended up at the city of Columbia, believe it or not, working there for about 8 years with Mayor Bob Coble and Steve Benjamin as a public information officer.
Oh, okay.
And a little tidbit, I also drew the South Carolina Education Lottery numbers for about 10 years. So
really?
Wow.
Fun little things while I lived in Columbia. The 2015 flood happened. Obviously, that was devastating for a lot of people. And right after that, I ended up going over to the South Carolina State Museum. I'm working there in public relations. It was an awesome job to have, learning so much about our state's, cultural, diverse, rich history, including here in the Low Country. So that was a really fun, great job to have. So I knew then I was in the right space of telling stories and being in public relations was where I knew I wanted to be. And then unfortunately COVID happened and things sort of shut down. I was working from home. And throughout all this time, I've been kind of a grocery nerd. I know that's a weird thing to say maybe, but I've always shopped at Publix and liked it. And my friends used to make fun of me about going here and shopping every day. So it was kind of kismet that this job opened up. And I never thought I'd be working for Publix supermarkets. But I applied, and July of 2020, I got the job and moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. And now I get to talk about, all of the great things that this company does for our communities and helping hunger in the hunger space. And outside of those great Publix subs and chicken tenders, there's a lot of rich 95-year history in this company that I get to tell and share with people that may not necessarily know about.
Yeah, can you give us how did Publix start? What's the origin?
95 years, really? Wow.
Yeah. George W. Jenkins is the founder of Publix Supermarkets. Okay. He opened up his first store in 1930 during the Great Depression. It was
talk about taking a chance.
I know, right? Yeah. Seriously. He was no stranger to the grocery industry. His family was in that business already. But he opened his first store in Winter Haven, Florida. The first food store is what it was called then. And then opened a second location a little bit later. He later closed those 2 locations to open up what's now known as Publix Supermarket. He, basically wanted to turn this into, I don't know, the fair of grocery stores, if you will. He was pretty innovative. He had AC in his stores and the first store to have automatic door openers. And marble floors and fluorescent lighting. So some of the things you see today were his innovations to bring into the shopping experience.
That's fascinating. And again, biggest draw you can give to the South is AC.
AC,
you know?
yeah. Yeah, if you don't have AC, I'm probably not going.
Well, I mean, it's almost like hyperbole to say that it is a shopping experience. But, think about it. A lot of people, I guess, up until Publix really was hitting their stride and stuff, it was a chore to go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Now, with you saying you were a grocery nerd coming almost every day, that's because obviously it's a good experience coming in. Oh, look at that, look at that, look at that. So I kind of like that. That's pretty interesting. And then, so I guess you said they started in Florida. I try to remember the first time that I saw one in Charleston. I grew up here.
So
it wasn't.
Might have been the late 90s.
It must have been, yeah.
Savannah, it was early 90s is when we opened that store in Georgia. And then we progressed into South Carolina.
Okay.
2014 was when we first opened our store in Ballantyne, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
And believe it or not, just 2 years ago, we opened our very first store in Kentucky. So, we're at 8-state operating area now. We're growing quickly, and, it's great to be a part of that company. You mentioned grocery shopping being a chore.
Yeah.
Funny enough, he mentions in his book, believe it or not, that he didn't want grocery shopping to feel like a chore for his shoppers and customers. He wanted to be, a pleasurable experience. Hence, shopping is a pleasure.
Right. Yeah.
So, little things, I don't know to get ahead, but the tiny little things that you'll notice, like the terrazzo floors to make your shopping cart roll smoothly when you're shopping, the wide aisles that we have so you're not squeezing by other customers, the large parking spaces that we have that are diagonal for you to pull in easily.
Yeah, absolutely.
These are things that I never really thought about until someone points them out to us. The bright lighting, the green, all of these things were done, with our customer in mind, thinking that, we want to be able to come in here and not feel like I'm doing something that I got to just check off the list. We want you to want to come,
So you almost have a great research department too, for the...
I'm not in that department.
But you're talking about the smallest things, most people won't notice, but makes a complete change.
Right. Yeah. We've got some smart people, believe it or not, I think, in that area. We have an entire greenhouse in Lakeland, Florida, dedicated to coming up with different formats for whatever city or county or location these stores are.
That's
to determine how the store might work best for the customers in that area. And, even in this store, which is similar, but the exact opposite of what it used to be when you'd come before. Things are on the opposite side of the store now. And that's because we had to incorporate this great park butterfly garden next to us. So things like that, I find fascinating. I'm just a curious person. So I love the way, I understand how these our grocery stores, work and operate.
DJ brought up the fact, I'm kind of blown away that you actually cared about the width of the aisles and the parking lot, because there are some, I guess, other grocery stores that when you're shopping there, it feels like everywhere that you stand is in the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's why this is super comfortable. And I guess that, one of the reasons we're here is because the Publix in Daniel Island about a year ago was razed to the ground. It was shocking to the community. It was shocking, and we'll go over that. But that was a new canvas for Publix to build this place on, I guess, putting all their innovation, their research and development, all that stuff. And you said that, there's a lab or a shop or the greenhouse or whatever that actually looks at the footprint where they're going in, the neighborhoods. So I guess there was some of that research going into this neighborhood before you built this one, right?
Right, yeah. So obviously Daniel Island is growing quickly. A lot of people have moved to this island. And so we want to continue to be able to make grocery shopping pleasurable for people. So obviously we had to look at how we could grow with the community to be able to make sure their shopping experience is what they were, used to, and wanted to continue to have. So we made the decision to tear the store down and rebuild a larger store with some new amenities to be able to accommodate all of our new customers here on Daniel Island.
Well, I think it's very Sorry, I was just taking a sip of the Publix Coke Zero. I'm just enjoying now on their fine. I like your drink station. Coffee for $1.50.
Oh yeah,
good deal,
yeah.
right?
Dude, that is such a good deal. I had to put that in there. So I guess rebuilding was because of the growth of the island. We've been coming to Publix here for a long time.
Yeah.
And it was a little small. It looks like it was built when Daniel Island was like proportionate to its size, So I can understand why, doing that. I think DJ last night, we were talking to some folks about doing the show at the new Publix, and they were like, I can't believe something like this got built in under a year, you said?
Yeah. And it would obviously weather delays, things like that happened. So we were able to get it open. Yeah. And actually just a little under a year, 11 months exactly. And again, tearing everything down and rebuilding. We knew we had a plan in place, and we knew that, the tenants in this area might be affected by all of this, but they've all been grateful. We've stayed in constant communication with all of them.
Mm-hmm.
We had like a little bit of a little preview, and the tenants around here, the other shops, small businesses came in. We had ice cream, and they celebrated with us the grand opening of the new Publix. But it's more than doubled the size than the old store. We've got the pharmacy now over here on the right side when you walk in, as opposed to it being on the left. And other store formats. The produce is in the back of the store. There's a window you can see out. That is very unlike a lot of our other stores, having a big window in the produce area to see out onto the street. Yeah. But it's a very beautiful store. I'm glad that we'll get a chance to take a look around whenever.
Yeah, and we hit on it earlier. Daniel Island, of course, they're celebrating. It's such a tight-knit community. But honestly, there's no other, they need the Publix here, Otherwise, you got to go off the island to go grocery shopping,
Yeah. And we knew that ahead of time. So we were trying to stay in communication with a lot of our customers. Our marketing team does a great job using the Publix app. And you sign up for Club Publix and you get all those emails. So, we were also promoting the businesses in this area. You can't shop here during this time, but there's some great restaurants around here. We also have a Publix, just across the bridge over at Mount Pleasant as well. So it's not too far away. I understand people don't want to have to cross the bridge sometimes, but we're back here now.
There's also, I think, one on Clements Ferry.
Exactly.
As well.
Yeah, you're right. So.
Yeah, so you talked about the app. So customer engagement. I mean, you're kind of in the business for, that kind of stuff. So, Jared, I think we just completely glossed over. What is your official title?
So I'm the media relations manager for Publix Supermarkets. Okay. I work out of our Charlotte divisional office. So South Carolina is part of those states that we cover. But I get the great job of, I mentioned telling stories earlier, of sharing all of the good that Publix does in the community, as well as, talking about how our associates are owners of this company, the largest employee-owned company in the country.
Really?
We own the company, we're stake in the game, but what's really neat is that a lot of our associates are very active in our communities. So I get to talk about a lot of that stuff. And then, of course, obviously talk about the great food products that we have to sell, like our Publix subs and tenders. So that's a high-level, scaled down version, if you will, of what I do. But the best part of my job is being able to talk about being an owner of this company and how that differentiates us from a lot of other competitors.
Yeah. So we hit on it earlier. You've got a wide selection of food for lunch and stuff now for everyone. You've got this awesome little place to sit, not just the inside. Yeah. There's a whole, we'll take some photos. There's a whole patio area too with grass and gardens. I've heard that this place has become a little bit of a hangout now too, right?
So you can get your sub, you'll see a video accompanying this and the audio where we went in and got a famous chicken tender sub that we will be tasting soon. Yeah. But now you don't have to go eat it in your car at lunch or something. You can sit at one of these places they have here.
Yeah. Come in, have your lunch here. You guys went through the line. Sometimes it gets a little bit busy, especially during lunchtime. So we like to make sure our customers have other options to get those things quickly. So I always tell people, if you have the app on your phone, order your sub early on the app, schedule whatever time you want to come in and pick it up, and you can just grab it. You can pay for it on the app and just head out, or you can grab some other items while you're here. Moms and dads who are on the run or got to get back to the office quickly, don't have a lot of time. We've got great grab and go options, you know, in our deli area. Popcorn chicken. I mean, I love that stuff so much. I can just grab one, you know, quickly out of the deli and just eat it while I'm shopping sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Just take it home.
Yeah, just ring it up afterwards.
Yeah. So definitely order ahead of time on the app. That's always my little insider tidbit, if I can always provide some info to our customers.
Yeah, absolutely. But we would like those inside tidbits. Yeah. DJ, you've been to some events here and for tennis. They've got the big tennis center over here. It's probably good to come in and get some grab and go before a concert or something.
Yeah. I mean, especially, you know, I don't know, people tailgate for the tennis matches or a concert, but I mean, what's better than to have some chicken tenders for a little tailgate?
Absolutely.
I mean, you can buy, you know, a bottle of champagne and wine from our wine aisle, but, you know, obviously cupcakes and sweets like that I think are good for tailgating too. But if it's right there, right across the street, come on in. But obviously, you might want to order that stuff well ahead in advance.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's Super Bowl weekend, so that's kind of gives me some ideas. Jared's also set up some snacks over there. We should get a picture of those because that looks like I'm going to somebody's party. Cupcakes, cookies,
home
popcorn.
With a lot of goodies.
And that is one thing I appreciate too, is the fact that, you know, you can sit down and eat, but a lot of the stuff is grab and go, providing that convenience.
Right. You know, I keep going back to this, making sure we keep our customers in mind. And I talked about people who are busy. You know, we're all pretty busy sometimes during the week, and we're also hungry. And even if you're just trying to come in and find something to eat for dinner, we've got, you know, quick grab and go items back in our meat and seafood area. You can just pop it in the oven for 20 minutes.
Okay.
You know, again, I grab and go sandwiches, soups and salads. You know, all of these things are done with our customers in mind, knowing that people are getting busier every day. We've got kids that we're juggling. We just want to make sure, again, shopping doesn't feel like a chore for you, that you're able to come in and get the things you need and get out, or spend as much time in here as you want to as well.
We had a fine time already talking to many of the associates and everything. When you came to the point of their owners as well, so does everybody get the opportunity to do that?
Yeah. So obviously, once you start working, you have a process. You work over a year or 1,000 hours, then you get vested. Excuse me. And then you do become an owner of the company.
Oh wow!
I am an owner. You know, most of the people here working today are owners. So that's why I always talk about how Publix is such a great place to work. We are invested in you as an associate, and there's so many possibilities for you to grow. I mean, it really runs the gamut. We are in the grocery store today, but we have truck drivers. We have, you know, people that work in our distribution center. We have real estate managers, pharmacists, media managers, corporate communications. I mean, it really runs the gamut, like I said. So there's so many opportunities for you to grow. And because of that, and because we own the company over 95 years, we've never had a layoff. And again, we're owners. There's opportunity for us to have say in how our company grows. And, you know, I know firsthand that is, you know, a real possibility. I've seen my boss, who is our communications director, she started off as a front service clerk at 14. Our former CEO, Todd Jones, started off as a front service clerk and worked his way up to CEO of our company and now serves on our board. So, you know,
that amount of dedication shows that y'all are doing something about
legitimate careers.
Right, exactly.
You know? These are jobs. These are well, that's inspiring, honestly.
Yeah, that's why anytime someone asks, you know, what they can do with their kids that might be in high school and looking for, I'm like, you guys should just go to Publix, start now, because the amount of investment that you get, not only as an owner and owning stock in this company, but you continue to grow as well. Like, that's pretty incredible. You know, we had talked, I think, before on the phone about our mission being the premier quality food retailer of the world. Part of that that helps us reach that goal is the employment and security and dedication and treating our associates with dignity and value, and making sure that, you know, their voices are heard, you know, across the board, no matter what. We have an open door policy, and we encourage our associates who start off at 14. We give them these pathways so that they can grow to become managers or go into our support areas like me to be able to grow their careers, whatever whatever it is they choose to be a part of and learn, we have opportunities for them to be able to do that.
Wow, that's excellent. Okay, we're going to take a quick break and hear from a sponsor, and we'll be right back. Hey, everyone. We really want to encourage you to visit the refinery in Charleston, South Carolina. The refinery is a beautiful mixed-use facility that's home to upscale office space, 2 restaurants, the Limbo Lounge, and an amphitheater that hosts national, regional, and local acts year-round. We cannot recommend it enough. Go to therefinerychs.com to get event and venue information. You can also go to the site to learn how you can even book the spaces you want for your own event. So go check them out, and thanks. Hey, and we're back. So we just talked about being a team member, careers, your dedication to your associates. Also, you got a pretty good dedication to the community. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about contributing to the community?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're a food retailer, so it is important to us to recognize that it is a responsibility of ours to be active in the hunger space and being able to make sure we take care of our neighbors in need. So we partner with Feeding America food banks across our 8-state operating area, including Low Country Food Bank here in Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay.
And so there's a couple of programs that we have where we help our neighbors in need. And one of those things is our Good Together program. I think I had too much Diet Coke. So we have a lot of produce, fresh produce and vegetables and dairy products and a lot of items that are still saleable and wholesome and edible. But, sometimes things get bruised and, customers may or may not want to purchase them. So we go through and we pull a lot of those items that are still good and fine and healthy enough to eat. And we donate all of that stuff to our local food bank here in Charleston. We also have another program where we ask our customers to also make donations at the checkout, and then we match those donations.
Oh, you match them?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
With produce as well. So we also have our charities arm, Public Supermarkets Charities, who plays a big part in making larger contributions to our food bank partners. And so we were able to help Low Country Food Bank of Charleston purchase a food truck that they can use to be able to
that's amazing.
go out in the community to help serve our community members and hand out produce that way. So since 2012, we have donated over 6 million pounds of fresh fruits and vegetables to Low Country Food Bank. And of that, 32 million pounds of donated products, that's including our produce, but as well as dairy products, non-perishable items, and things like that to the Low Country Food Bank of Charleston, of the Low Country, excuse me. So, again, we are active in that space. We also partner with a lot of other agencies. So I mentioned our associates being active in our communities. We really push for volunteerism. So Habitat for Humanity being one, getting out and helping build homes. Our charity arm also donates financial contributions to help build homes for our neighbors that are struggling or in need.
Excellent.
It is no surprise to us that things are tough, especially now. And so we don't want anyone to have to feel like they need to choose between paying, a light bill and putting food on their table. So whenever we have an opportunity to step in, we make sure we can do that for our customers and our communities. During the pandemic, when you saw videos of farmers, local farmers who could not get rid of the produce that they were growing, and so they were, turning it over and sold, we made the decision to purchase all of that produce from local farmers, and then we paid for the food trucks to come pick all of that up and donate it to the local and to the food banks in our operating areas, so that farmers weren't struggling, so we could help pay for that stuff for them. So we found ways to continue that process throughout the pandemic. And even though things have sort of, calmed down and never really went away, but we are still doing that to this day. So we're still helping out our farmers in our areas, still donating all that produce to our food banks across our operating area. And coming up in September, Excuse me. Wow, I'm way ahead.
Yeah.
But we have two public serves weeks where thousands of our associates get out into the community. In the spring and April, we have our environmental public serves week where we're out in our state parks, our local parks, and cleaning up waterways. Last year, we had over 7,000 associates out in our parks across the operating area. And then in September is our hunger public serves week, where we volunteer at local food banks, donating produce and boxing up produce and stuff like that, sorting it and handing it out to our customers or our neighbors that are in need. So,
man, that's and that's company wide. You said in all the operational areas. This is one thing that I like that you noted is you're helping out Low Country, the food bank and everything, but getting them a truck to a food truck to just to get it out, because I guess every city must have, there's food deserts.
Right. So, for us, it was about helping our food bank partners. They're the experts in this field. They're the ones that are like on the front line. So we wanted to help them do their job even better, if you will. So that meant getting out, and because some people don't have a way to get to the food bank, right? So we have to meet them where the need is. And that meant being able to provide funds for them to buy a truck. And so that with dignity, people can come onto the truck and pick out whatever produce they might need and then go back home. So it was important for us to find new ways to be able to help alleviate hunger whenever we can, for sure.
Excellent. Okay, so you got all that going on. It's a good thing that you have a big company with lots of people doing lots of careers, because that's wild. And I don't think anyone really, I think a lot of our listeners are going to be surprised at how frankly altruistic a lot of the stuff is that you all are doing. At the end of the day, you're doing great for the community. You're doing God's work at this point. But that's got to sound good to customers, know that they're contributing themselves.
I like to say that it makes things taste a little bit better when that it's going to a good place, right?
There you go.
People, when we hear Publix, we think of the store, the walls, and, but for us, customer service extends beyond these walls.
Yeah,
and that means being out in our communities wherever we can, extending that premier customer service that you get when you're in the store out in our communities. So for us, we're always Publix associates wherever we go. We're trying to make sure that we can, take care of people whenever we can.
Yeah.
If that's the hunger space, if it's building homes, volunteering for March of Dimes, or whatever the case may be, we're doing that knowing that people will come back, hopefully remembering that, it's not just a grocery store, right? We are doing all kinds of things outside of these walls.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
So anything upcoming we can look forward to?
Events.
So I have been told that soon we'll have this butterfly garden that's right next to us. We'll have hopefully some live events happening later this year out here for our customers to enjoy. Don't have a schedule for that yet, but hopefully we can share that info with you whenever we get it. Yeah,
and on the website and our social media, we'll have lots and lots of pictures and videos of our day here. So we'll add that.
Yeah.
And I assume that you just by going to the website or getting the app, which you can
keeping track of any upcoming events or anything like that. Yeah.
Yes, definitely download the Publix app. I mean, if you're getting a list online, clipping coupons to save some money at the register, ordering your subs, your platters for the party, Super Bowl party. If you forgot something for Valentine's Day or whatever, hopefully you can get that quickly online.
That's a good point. Are y'all ready for Super Bowl rush today?
Oh, yeah. I can't imagine the amount of chicken wings, chicken tenders that have been ordered to pick up today or tomorrow. I know I ordered some for something for tomorrow. So, I think the team here is pretty ready. So,
we were talking, we were getting our sub, which might as well take a bite of that thing in a sec.
We'll take a bite.
That's a hearty sub.
It is huge. There's all kinds of stuff on there.
But chicken tenders alone is a meal. So.
Yeah, but we were talking to the associates, and we're like, big snow day last week in Charleston. A rare snow. We were asking them, right, DJ, if they had to work during all that, and they said that pretty much the store stayed open because there's so many locals. There's actually people that live on Daniel Island that work in their family store or their local store. Yeah. So let's think about it.
We are lucky in that I think, I shouldn't say lucky, but we started off in Florida where you've got good Awesome. Man, I'll talk while you eat.
the cheese recommendation.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, we are no stranger to storms, if you will. So, we are prepared when we know these storms are coming to go ahead and order things that we know our customers are going to need ahead of time. We have a storm page on our website where we have lists of things that we tell our customers to go ahead and buy ahead of time. So we always stack up on water. Most of our stores are equipped with generators that can keep the store running. You remember Hurricane Helene, unfortunately, just devastated Asheville. Our store in Weaverville and Huntersville, they were able to stay open throughout that entire process. So people could get to the store. Wi-Fi was out. There was no cell service. So we were able to keep the Wi-Fi on for customers to come. And seeing video and pictures
that
of
is a
people
godsend
who
in
were
itself.
able to,
For communication. Yeah.
Just seeing people who were grateful that we were able to stay open, even if we couldn't sell anything in our store, just to be able to communicate with their family members because we had Wi-Fi available for them and electricity for them to charge their phones to connect with their families who hadn't heard from them in over a day or two. So things like that, that are kind of forgotten sometimes until it happens, reminds me that, we are thinking more than just selling groceries. We're really thinking about, how our customers are going to be affected by catastrophic events and how we can make sure we're prepared to help take care of them when we can.
Yeah, I'm glad we got to mention that because, I don't really put that much thought into it. I guess I've been to grocery stores and there's a pallet of water outside if there's going to be a hurricane or something, but there's so many more machinations going on. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Also got to note that sub is dynamite, and it's so huge.
Glad you like
I'm a very how should I say? I like eating.
Yeah.
I'm very enthusiastic about eating, and this sub is a very nice lunch.
No, and I love how we're placed literally right next to the bakery. All I can smell is bread throughout this whole thing.
You got to try some of these decadent cookies too.
Yeah, definitely.
These strawberry cheesecake cookies, my coworker told me about them, and I didn't. I was like, I don't know. There's a lot of hype about it, and I was like, I'm just going to try it. I think I ate all of them the afternoon that I bought them. They're so good.
You want to dig into it, Dev?
Yeah, let's try it.
DJ?
We've got some popcorn here as well. That's pretty great.
Just the popcorn in-house kind of?
Popcorn was made in-house this morning. I was trying to get that smell going for you too, but it might have been too much, too overwhelming with the bakery, with the bread. Then you get popcorn and chicken too. It's like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to leave.
Yeah, I'll be here all afternoon.
That is so good.
Right? I love this thing.
The strawberry is really good.
Yeah. Here, I'm going to try one too while we're at it.
Here, you can pass me one, little T.
Oh.
Little TJ.
I think it's the little bites of cheesecake that keep me going back.
For me, it's the strawberry. I love strawberry in any dessert. So this hits the spot right now.
Yeah, and you really don't get strawberry cookies that much. Yeah, the cheesecake stuff in here is good too.
So if you're listening, this is an LTO item. So get into the store today. Come get it.
Is this in celebration for Valentine's Day then?
Yeah, that too.
So limited time offers. I guess a lot of thought goes into that. It's not just something y'all are like, we need to get rid of this.
Yeah. So I mentioned there's so many different kinds of jobs at Publix. We've got someone that we have a dairy plant. We create our own ice cream, at our dairy plant in Lakeland and in Atlanta.
Oh, so it's just not some rebranded?
No. So, we have food scientists, if you will, who are coming up with these great flavors. I don't get a chance to try some of these cool things that they come up with. I wish I had that job. So if my boss is listening to this, hopefully she'll plug me in. But we have associates in Lakeland whose job is to come up with these amazing new flavors of things like these strawberry cheesecake cookies, like I mentioned, our blueberry bliss, lemon blueberry bliss ice cream that we have, the cakes, the decadent cookies that we have here, new Publix subs that we sell for a limited time. So yeah, like I mentioned, there's a job for everyone. I can say that now. Where people come up with different flavors and items that we can sell in our stores. Some things turn into permanent things, like our volcano dip. That was an LTO at first. It kind of went viral online, and so now we sell it permanently in our deli. It's a pretty good dip.
That's awesome.
Well, Jared, you've been very up for the task.
Yeah, we appreciate
This has been
it.
fun. I'm glad we were able to do this. So thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a pleasure. So anyway, for this week, this has been the Shrimp City Report live from Daniel Island at the new Publix here, and it's definitely been our pleasure.
Absolutely, yeah.
See y'all soon. Everybody have a
Thank
great
you.
week. God bless.